What's everybody doing today? We're gonna do a little saw video, gear, what I like to use, that kind of stuff. But first of all, we gotta get a fill up. So anyways, I'm gonna show you. Oh, that's good. This is stuff I use from day to day. Saws, climbing gear, what I like to do, use, that kind of stuff. But let's get right into it with the saws here. So, we got a lot of different saws, like 7 different saws or so. And the first one, this is kind of my saw, personal saw. It's a MS461 with the big dog, the West Coast mud flap on there, you know. I do have a full wrap handle for it, but I like using it, but sometimes like when you're cutting red pine and all that, you want to get low to stump for logs and all that stuff. So it's nice in a way. It's a bit heavier than that Husky you've been seeing me using, but a lot of power, good all around saw. I got a new muffler coming for it, a dual port muffler, so that's gonna make it. But yeah, it's a good saw, about a year old, West Coast version. Like the big dogs, gotta have them. So next one, this is a nice little saw for crane removals. If you look on one of the videos, the hemlock, I'm craning the hemlock out on Buckin. This is the one I'm using. This is a fantastic little Husky. I mean, this thing winds up for a stock power saw. Really high RPMs. You can't beat one of these for anybody, homeowner, tree cutter alike. They're an excellent saw. 562 with a 20-inch bar. Pushes it well. And of course, there's the dreaded 201 in my opinion, but these are nice work saws. Once you get the bugs worked out of them, they work good. I've got two 200T, steel MS 200Ts out in Oregon that Rich, the chainsaw guy. Check him out on YouTube, the chainsaw guy. He's a frickin' magician. I have not had a saw from him yet, but I'm looking forward to it. He just called me yesterday and said he got them, so I won't be using these anytime soon once I get them, but we're going to do a whole video on that, so stick with me on that and look for it. Next one is the one you can see me cut with is that 372 with a Oregon 28-inch bar, and I like this. This is probably my favorite saw. Super light, you know, it works really well. It's stock, a little bit of, just took the screen out of the muffler pretty much, but it does have the dual port muffler, so a little better breathing. And these saws are amazing on fuel, unbelievable. I did that whole hemlock job yesterday on 1 tank of gas, bucket up firewood and everything. So keep that in mind when you're buying a new saw. It's a good thing to have. And last but not least, my baby. I've had this since I was 18. I'm 26 right now. Once I got up enough money to buy a sweet saw, this was the one. 390 XP, 32-inch power match, Oregon bar on it. It's bone stock, but man, this thing really winds up well. I've got some super plans for it, but it's been good. I usually only take it out on the big stuff. Either that or I'll throw that 28 on there every once in a while when I'm feeling frisky, but this is the one that you saw actually in that pine spar I was cutting with up in Noggin there, but good saw, great all around saw, a lot of power. Get right into some climbing stuff. My saddle is a Shoutout Edge. Silky saw, a couple of beaners on the back, it's a rigging steel beaner. And what I did, my bridge wore out, and I actually put the stuff you see on the tree motion, I put a double bridge. I got this stuff, and it's a little slim, and I'm not that smaller of a guy, so it's kind of eh. So I put a double bridge on it, and I put one in the middle, and one on the base, so it'll pull a little bit more on my legs. I made the one on the base tighter, so it would pull more up on my legs, like when I'm single rope climbing or whatever. But I come to like it, and a little bit more security. You know, you got to check these points all the time, back where your beaners are rubbing. But this is a really nice saddle. I mean, I used to climb with the Weavers for years and years, and they're nice. They're anti-BS, put it on, go up the tree, get stuff done, get down. Nothing wrong with them, they're just heavier, and you know, when you're going up trees all day, you gotta have good stuff. But definitely recommend this. Carrot tool, I take the clip off it so I can just one hand, one off the saw. So I got a small one back here for like hauling up ropes and rigging and hand saw or whatever I got to stick on there, but that's the harness. So got that. Steel core flip line for climbing straight stems. Sometimes when I'm trimming off a base tie on an SRT, I like the wire cord just in case, because there's a base tie overhead and then bang, you got your line here. At least you know this ain't gonna break, and if you nick it, it won't break immediately, but it'll buy you some time. It's not completely cut proof, but as you can see, the greenhorn nicked it with a handsaw, so this one is actually retired now because the case is wearing off, but I got a new one coming hot. So that there, and as far as rope lanyards go, I won't buy a rope lanyard. I think it's foolish to buy what you can make. You know, I just do it up in a daisy chain like so, but this is just old climb line in a regular old school plastic like I climbed on for years. These little beaners are nice, and the only time I really use these is when I'm really working a canopy hardcore, dead wooden, whatever, but that's what I use. I just make them Prusik, little micro pulley, double locking snap, and it's just, you know, poison ivy. Your climb line retires, pick a good section out, cut it off, stop right on the back. You know, don't spend $200 for a frickin' rope lanyard that you know, you can buy when you got all the components sitting right in front of you, and you're not taking the brunt on a lanyard like you are with a climb line. All your weight isn't completely in it a lot of times. So yeah, that's always been my view. I always make them. I do splice 3-strand, so I have made some on that. I don't know how to splice this stuff, but this can get caught in crotches, but if you're smart about it, I mean, don't be rappelling down 15 feet trying to yank it over a limb and not expect to get caught, you know. So unhook it, drop down, or, you know, be within reach, you know. Yeah, but still, that's just my take on rope lanyards. I mean, you see a lot of $260 for a rope lanyard, really. I mean, like this stuff I've had for years. Put it together and go to work. So that's my take. Anyway, rope lanyards done. Spurs. I climbed on the old Buckin hands for a long time with the aluminum plates. Love them. I climbed for a year and a half when I first started. No spur pads. Had no idea they made them. I was 15. And I just wasn't smart. Looked in Bailey's and they made spur pads, so I'm getting them. But these are the ones I use now. Geckos, I've had these for quite a while. The spurs are getting wore down quite a ways on them. Velcro lower straps, if you haven't tried them out, they're way worth the try. The leather ones, climbed in for a long time, and they're good, and it takes a while to get them to where you want them, like repeatable. But, I mean, the Velcros, they're a little wider, they sit on the foot, they don't pinch your metal plates of your boots, you know, kind of thing. But I climbed the leather ones for, you know, years. But since I found these, I bought a pair, and I bought a pair for my other climber too. They're like $35, and I guarantee you will not be sorry. Tree Stuff has got them. They got everything. You want to get some good excuse me. Tree Stuff, I got a package that's coming right now. 3 days in free stuff, unbelievable. But yeah, check them out. I always went through Cheryl, Bailey's, and all that. Now I don't even want to go on the website because, like, Tree Stuff, bang and bang, hit your email. There, it's in the mail, and you got it. And it's cheap. It's way cheaper. And you type in the coupon codes, and you save 30, 50 bucks a shot. It's like, duh, go Tree Stuff. But anyways, Gecko Spurs, check them out. Adjustable friction savers. Always had one of these, and I love them. I don't like regular friction savers because I do a lot of ripping off spars. I used to cut notches in spars and burn off them, but this is just way better. You know, you put it through both rings, not regular overhead or half hitch, what do you want to call it? Overhead knot. Pass through a big one, catch on a small one, pull it out of the tree. And I always, like, this is kind of slippery material. So I'll back it up actually with a stopper knot. You just never know. You don't want it to creep off the stem and give you a little bit of a slide, but that way if it does come down, it's going to hit that knot, and that's it really. But yeah, Trestle friction saver, it's a good one. Good go hole. We need a coffee slam here. Climb lines. What line I'm climbing on now is this. It's 16 strand. It's got a splice in it. I believe it's Teufelberger, whatever. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's Safety Blue or something like that. But, it's good stuff. And this stuff will actually, and I run a hitch climber pulley on it, or a Blake's. I still use a Blake's. I believe it's not worth throwing away. Keep it in your tool bag. It's a handy trick to know. A lot of guys nowadays, they don't want to use the Blake because they have, you know, 6 rope runners or whatever. And I do climb single line on a rope wrench, but the Blakes, don't throw away your stuff that could get you out in a pinch. All you need is a line. You don't need no bainers, no nothing. And I still use it pretty often. But this is a pretty good line. My favorite though is Yale and Mori. Really soft. It works good for everything. SRT hitch climber, Blake's. There's a spool of it over on the wall there, hanging up, but it's kind of retired. I just can't throw it away. I don't know why, but maybe I'll make a lanyard out of it or something. But yeah, everyday climber, 16 string. And here's a thing, you've heard of the Haas, the Haul-Ass Ascent System. Killer idea, but I'm not going to pay what they're asking for it. So, but it's a hell of a good design. And this one probably ain't as good as the one you can get in the stores, but it gets the job done. You can see in the maple, I was trimming with it. This is a Petzl Basic sender, and this is just some generic bungee cord you buy from the hardware store, knotted up to one disc. I use a small one so I can hook it through the open gate of my neck tether that goes on my hitch climber. And this is just 3 strand I spliced up. You know, it fits on your foot, like so, whatever. Go like that, for the line and it just advances. So that's what I use. Quick, this is like $70, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, 3 strand I always keep a bunch around because I make saw lanyards and this and anything. You know, you make anything out of them. Balancer slings, whatever. But yeah, this is worth checking out. And if you guys are interested in knowing how to make one, give me a shout. I'll even do a video on making one. I'll cut this baby apart just to show you how it's done. So real easy to make. The Haas, the Jakeman Haas, homemade. Phone's going off. Customers calling. It's getting that season. No limits around here, so we're not blowing full time just yet. Just stacking up jobs and doing kind of no cleanups, a little stump grinding. Here's another adjustable friction saver made out of 3 strand. This is actually my favorite. It's really stiff, grabs good. You'll actually see this one in that 105-foot red pine crane removal. That was over Manfish Waters. Big tree, and these stick really good to trees. I don't know what it is. 3 strand is a little more rugged than that stuff, but I've always liked them. They're stiff, and I know the dynamics of splicing 3 strand and how strong it is. You can see it on the outside. You know, that's just my take, but yeah, and it's where both ends you can use. You know, it's got a big spar. You want to use a long, just a long one to retrieve real good. What I would probably do though, when you're doing that, is I would move this all the way to the back so it doesn't snag in a tight crotch. So that way it's out of the way. It's out of any limbs you're going to pull because you're pulling from the small ring, like so. But yeah, check them out. Good one to get. So anyway, SRT line is Samson Velocity. This is the stuff I found that runs the best with my foot ascender, my Petzl Pantene. Nice and light. And I actually use this every once in a while if I'm by myself. I'll actually coil it up, get the hitch climber tied up, and as I'm moving up a big pine or something, I'll just hook this to my side with my hitch climber on it. That way I don't have to worry about my line getting fouled. And then once I'm done and cut the top out, I'll just throw it out, burn down, get out of there. But yeah, that's Samson Velocity. I believe. So yeah, good stuff. It's smaller diameter, but it's worth a go if you're getting into single rope climbing. So, and I keep my single rope stuff in a separate bag, cheap little bag, because they're the way to go. I mean, everything's out of the weather, rain, you know, you don't want your shit getting wet. But another hitch climber. This is actually the one I use for my rope wrench. Yeah, and as far as advancing a rope wrench, I like the neck tether. I've tried the lanyard over the back, the chest harness I made, but the neck tether freaks me out in the same sense, but it works the best. So when I'm done getting to the top of the tree, to my tie-in or whatever, I'll just unhook it, put it away. I don't need it anymore. I don't want to get caught or choking me or whatever. So I'll just put it away when I reach to where I gotta get, and I'll just go one-footed through the climb, and just, when I come up, I'll just move the system up with my hand. You know, one up, boom, and just keep doing that, and I don't need that thing around my neck the whole time. So the less BS in a tree, for me, the better. So that's the rundown of that. This is my rope wrench. I like the stiff tether, like so, and I put it inside the hitch climber. And sometimes I go with a regular micro pulley, most of the time the hitch climber, because it hooks up good. And I've got, what a sender, the old school Petzl Pantene 1 or something like that. It's just wore in, it works great. I can actually just brush the line when I'm about 40 feet up and just hook that velocity in. That's one reason I like it. So yeah, that's what I like. And if you're losing the rope out of your camming, stick a beaner in that hole, because it will not let that cam open. But keep that in mind, if you run into bees or something, you're done, because that ain't good. Oh, I hate bees, don't even get me started on them, but yeah, keep that in mind. If you know there's nothing in the tree that's gonna hurt you or whatever, you gotta get out quick. Don't put a beaner in, but if you're just flying out for that climb or whatever, put that beaner in. It'll keep that rope in the sender. So that's what that's about there. So yeah. But yeah, oh, wedge pouch. And this is a hitch climber. For those of you who don't, I'm sure everybody knows what a hitch climber is. But I got a couple of them. I like them. I like to hook the standing part to the middle eye of the becket. I don't like it up here, because I tie with a double fisherman's knot, the terminating knot, because I don't like splices on this, only because I like the weight that a double fisherman knot puts on the beaner. So if I'm tossing over limbs, I can get that to come down. I've spliced is nice and neat on this, but I just ain't got the weight, you know. And I'm move my climb line up as you go climber. I'm only when I need to work below me do I go to the top tree, come back. But if I'm going up a white pine or something, or a big red, I'll work my whole way up, just advancing the line as I go, because there are a lot of instances where you have to go to the top, come back, but I like to just get as much done as I can on the way up, and I'll leave long limbs on the bottom if I do have to come back. But big fan of making it easy, cutting what you can, less trip to the top, and double fisherman's knot for a terminator. So it's worked good for me. I do face the tail out when I hook it up, and I hook it to the middle becket, and I've not seen any problems with creeping or whatever. Might take some tweaking, but that's my take on it. So, anyway, wedge pouch. This is basically just for my own use. When we got the whole crew, we're not doing a whole lot of wedging, because usually, you know, we're either going to push it with a machine or throw a rope in it. But I'm by myself. I like wedging, doing foot lines and pull and all that stuff. When applicable, don't wedge for fun. Wedge because, you know, it can be wedged, you know what I mean? If it's back leaning way out of the way, put a rope in it, take some weight off, it gets set up well, get a good pull. You'll see in that big basswood video I did, I supplemented that pull with wedges. So I had tension pulled up twice before the face cut and right into the back cut, and then I just drove her home with the wedges. But I like to start with a skinny wedge, because when it's frozen, thick one won't pop in. It'll bust out, or you'll hit yourself in the teeth. Did that 2 weeks ago. It's not cool. So skinny one first. Like to start the cut, you'll see this little yellow one going in the back cuts. You'll see this yellow one going in first, almost all the time when I'm wedging on the videos there. And then I like to, once I get it pulled up, I'll throw in these kind of 8-inch mid-size K&H's. Nice soft wedge. They're the way to go. And I'll just pretty much use them unless it's really not lifting, and I'll throw in either a high lifter, which use with caution because you kind of want to get pulled up a little bit, I think. For me, it's different everywhere you go, so don't critique me on that. This is just my species of wood I'm in my area, so it's not the best way to do it, this and that. It's just what I prefer. Either that, but you know, if you look at a long wedge, I mean, there's a lot of lift in this wedge here all the way through, so you don't have to use short wedges to start out. It all depends on the size of the tree, really. I find I just like the little short ones because we don't have real big timber. A 45-incher, my heart's cranking. You know, that's a big tree where we're at. But these lifters are great. I mean, they're when you're really getting into the bitter end, you'll see that spar I was wedging over, putting in the high lifter. That's what I'm talking about. High lifter wedge, I call it, anyways. And also, I carry a long, slimmer taper wedge. This is a good one to start with because this will actually get you the same effect the smaller one will, because it's pretty similar, the lift on it. And you can actually get it started up quicker and let it go up longer. So that's what I like to do, carry my wedge pouch. So, yeah, this is my little first go-to. This is the starter, the first base wedge, I call it. So yeah. That's what I'm talking about there. That's my wedge pouch. Just a little flavor of all of them, and I don't use them all at once. Most often times, sometimes I just wing them, or I'll throw them in my pocket. But I found since I started keeping a wedge pouch, I don't lose my wedges as much. You know, you lose them on jobs and stuff like that. But keep a saw wrench in there, a little belt, you know, hardware store deal. But yeah, wedge pouch, that's what that is. So, another thing is my axe. It's just a basic axe. I got it for free when I bought some saws from Wannick Saw Shop, Wakefield, Michigan. If you need a power saw and you're watching this, those are the guys. I've been going there since I was like 4 years old with my dad and stuff. So now I'm doing business with them since I was, whatever, 11 years now. But it's steel actually makes the axe. Nice short one. I like the short one. I can throw it. I'm gonna do a video of me tossing this thing because this thing sticks good. I paint it. Nice little handle though, and a nice square back is what I'm always looking for. Nice straight square back axe. You know, it drives really well with that big flat spot, and it's easier. It's not slipping off. But this is my axe. Stays in my pickup wherever I go. And yeah, that's it for that. Not a whole lot more else, really. I like using throw lines, drinking coffee a lot. Let's do a little fill up. Stay with me here, folks. But this is going to be a little bit of a long video. Probably the longest one I got. It's probably take a day and a half to upload. But we'll be doing a lot more videos throughout the summer. Oh, hard hat. One thing I forgot. It's a Petzl Vertex vent. I like these little visors because I actually like the screens better. But what I found when I'm going through canopy and stuff, this thing really is nice and low profile, and it's there when I need it. If not, flip it up. It doesn't get in the way. And I always wear my muffs. My guys give me crap for it. I'm always wearing my muffs, raking, whatever. It helps it stay on my head better, and yeah, it's just a no-brainer for me to try to save out here. And I like to hunt, so I need that here. And so that's it, really, with the helmets and the gear and stuff like that. This is the truck you've been seeing me hot rodding in, the work truck. You'll see a lot more videos and more equipment and stuff, but I'm in the shop today, and also sending out Buckin Billy Ray and Victorious Victor's little care package today. I'm not going to show you what it is, it's going to surprise you. It's just a couple things from my business, my area, and a couple little things I use that I make. But I think you'll enjoy it. If you like it, stay tuned, subscribe, shoot me questions, comments, whatever. And if you're a customer, thank you for hiring us. I really appreciate it. You have a good one.